Welcome back to day 2 of the Mini Quilt Advent Calendar. If you haven't opened up today's envelope, I'm going to give you a second to go ahead and do that now. Okay, so now hopefully you've opened up today's piece, and it is this little 1.5 inch half square triangle, and today's pattern we're going to just use 8 of these, 4 of one color, 4 of another, to make a fun little 3-inch finished quilt block. So if you have the fabric bundles or if you're using your own fabric, doesn't matter. I'm going to show you how to do that. If you have the stickies, so these little gypsy quilter stickies, what we're going to do is grab a sticky and we're going to pop out our middle. I'm going to stick this. This has a hole so that you can string, ooh, look at that. So that you can string it on a cord if you'd like. And I'm just going to pop that hole right around there. And then I'm going to take my center and put it out on this corner. And then I'm going to grab a center from another sticky. I'm just going to grab a center from another sticky and put it on this corner. And that will give us our pieces so it doesn't move. So we need 4 of color 1 and 4 of color 2. And that's pretty quick and easy to do. There we go. I have 4 of color 1 and 4 of color 2. And now we're going to go ahead and use the fussy cut fabrics if you've chosen to use the fussy cut bundle. So I have all my fun fussy cut fabrics. And I'm actually going to do the exact same fabrics for fussy cut and non-fussy cut. So I showed you how to just regular cut these pieces, but now I want to show you how to fussy cut them as well. So you could do this if you'd gotten the regular bundle. There's no rule that says that you are only allowed to fussy cut if you got the fussy cut bundle. So I'm going to line this up, and I'm actually using reference points. My logo right there actually fits pretty well in that tree. And that's about where I want that tree. There we go. And then I'm going to line up about the same the next time. If you want, when you're fussy cutting and you want to line something up exactly the same time after time, you can use a Sharpie marker. That's right, a permanent marker. You can also use a vis-a-vis, which is one of those wet erase markers, if you have one, but I find that I don't normally have one of those lying around, but I do have a fine point permanent marker. So I can write on there with a fine point permanent marker, and then when I'm done, I just use a little bit of rubbing alcohol on a cotton swab, and it'll come right off. You just want to make sure that when you are writing, you're writing on the flat side, so this top of the acrylic, you're not writing on the etch side, because then that ink can settle in those etchings and it'll be harder to get out. So you want to make sure that you're writing on your smooth flat side when you are using a Sharpie or permanent marker for fussy cutting. All right, that's 3. And oh look, I can get this one out here. And it just barely gets to that edge right there, but I'm fine. Okay, so I have my 4 fussy cut trees. And now I'm going to do my presents. I'm in my seam allowance there. I don't want to do that. Bring this up a little. Okay, that's my non-fussy cut, that's my fussy cut. I think I want to do 4 different presents if I can. That will be fun. Now this is going to create a pinwheel, and so what I'm actually doing is all of my pieces are the same side up. So as the pinwheel's created, some will be sideways and one will be upside down and one will be the other direction. So it's good to know that. If you're worried about that at all, you can cut one each direction so that you have them all facing up, which is super fun when you're fussy cutting. You can make them all face up. I'm not going to be that fancy this time, but it's totally an option. There we go. So I have my 4 presents and my 4 trees. Now they're both going to go together the same way. You're going to take a red piece and a white piece and put them together, or a dark and a light. We'll line them up and stitch them with our 1/4 inch seam allowance. And we can go ahead and chain stitch these, which means I'm just going to go ahead and stitch all 4 one after the other. And as long as I'm chain stitching, I'm just going to go ahead and stitch my non-fussy cut pieces. And I'll go ahead and press all of our pieces. And everything's just getting pressed to the dark. There we go. Now I want to divide out which ones were my fussy cut. Obviously you won't have this step. There we go, those were my fussy cut. And these were my regular. So there you go, you've created your pinwheel design. Now we're going to stitch them into rows, and then we can stitch the rows together. We can do the same here. Now this is fun. I have my little fussy cuts. There we go. And I'll just do the same pinwheel shape. And because I cut my trees the same, I get this fun little arrow effect. And my bows are all facing kind of that same circular direction as well. Just a little fun. When you're fussy cutting, you can get fun little extras like that in your designs. So I'll go ahead and stitch those into pairs and then stitch, and then press and stitch my rows together. And I'll do the same here as well. I'm gonna go ahead and press this towards the dark, and I'll do the same on the other side. Press towards the dark from the back and the front. So I got a little off in my sewing here. That happens. This center is not going to line up well. So I have the option now of ripping this out and redoing this side so that it lines up well, or I can just let it be. The choice is absolutely 100% yours. Whatever you want to do in your situation. You can always totally remake these. You should have enough fabric to remake them, make them in different fabrics. It's fine. I'm just going to go ahead and keep going. Because I'm okay with it not being perfect. It's handmade, but the choice would be yours if you had something that was off like that on yours. All right, let's see how off this is. I'm gonna spin my seams. There we go. Yep, that one is pretty far off. I'm gonna probably remake this one at a later time. So I'll set it aside. I do not like how far off that was. I'm okay with things being off, but that one was a little too much for me. This one looked a lot better though, so this one should be fine. Yeah, this one's perfect. So I just got a little off when sewing one of my half square triangles on the other one. And I can either unpick it or redo it. Both totally valid options. So there we go. I'm gonna hide this one. That's okay. I mean, she's what she is. But there you go. There is day 2 completely finished. If you want to finish off your block and turn it into an ornament, I have instructions on how to do that on the finishing video. And if you are holding on to these to make a mini quilt later, there's gonna be a bonus video at the end of our 12 days that shows you how to turn these into a mini quilt. If you enjoyed this video, I hope you give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, leave those down below, and make sure you're subscribed to this channel, because not only are we going to continue our 12 days mini quilt advent, but I have a lot more quilting videos for you. So stay right here, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you right here real soon. Bye for now.